This is episode 3 of my DSCR loan series, and we're dialing in on Airbnb and short-term rentals. As rates come down and more markets cool off heading into 2026, a lot of investors are perfect. I'll buy a discounted property, put it on Airbnb, and a DSCR lender will fund it, thinking easy. Sometimes that works, but with short-term rentals, the income story is fragile. I'm Brian Quigley with Beacon Lending, and we're going to apply everything you've learned so far specifically to Airbnb and short-term rentals. How lenders see STR income. DSCR lenders want documented income, actual Airbnb or Vrbo statements if the property has a track record, or realistic market data if it doesn't, through an appraisal, with a short-term rental report, or what similar homes are renting for actively. Short-term rentals live and die seasonally. Peak season can look amazing, but you have to average your numbers over slow months, shoulder seasons, and increased competition. That is why obtaining a 12-month rent roll from the selling agent is a critical step in the short-term rental buying process. Most DSCR lenders will use the 12-month rent roll as the qualifying NOI, which can greatly help you know your numbers before putting in your offer. This works especially well for DSCR investors who want to buy more properties by doing a cash out refinance on their DSCR loan. Having a solid rent roll in place is vital, especially when you want to borrow large sums of money against your property. The STR income, along with a high credit score and equity position, is vital. One of the smartest moves you can make is pulling real data on your short-term rental market. Tools like AirDNA let you see average daily rates, occupancy, and revenue for properties that actually compare to yours. Same size, similar quality, similar location. Those numbers are what you should plug into your DSCR math so you can get a good barometer of what will work for the numbers. Remote STR investors and backup plan. Many STR investors are buying in destination markets they might only visit once a year. They're relying on research from their laptop, virtual tours, and a property manager or co-host to handle their day-to-day operations. This can be a fantastic model if your assumptions are conservative and your DSCR works, even if occupancy is lower or nightly rates have to come down. A smart 2026 play is to buy properties that would still be solid long-term rentals at market rent and treat the short-term rental upside as bonus income instead of your entire justification for the deal. This works well, especially with multi-unit properties, especially the one I did in Colorado. I have a client in Greeley who has a duplex, and on one half of the duplex, she's getting Airbnb income of about $60,000 per year, and on the other half of the duplex, she has a long-term renter in place, but no lease agreement. But because the Airbnb numbers are so good on the other half of the duplex, she's cash flowing on the property, her DSCR numbers are fantastic, and she's able to pull cash from that property to buy her next DSCR property. In this 2026 window, the short-term rental game is less about chasing the flashiest nightly rate and more about building durable income. If you use DSCR financing with conservative STR assumptions and a solid backup plan as a long-term rental, you give yourself room to win even if bookings soften or rules change. Now that you know how DSCR works with Airbnb and short-term rentals, the next step is learning how to stack the deck in your favor. In the final video of this series, I share my DSCR playbook, the rent roll checks, the data tools, and the simple hacks that serious investors use to buy properties, even sight unseen, without gambling on the numbers.